Finally, for the past 8 years, a small family-owned business here in Dallas has orchestrated our Saturdays at American Airlines Center. From the stage design, the videos, the screen, music, and layouts, to the thousands of details and dozens of technicians behind the curtains, Bill and Jere Thompson and their daughters Frankie and Kelsey and their longtime Ralph have always made us look so professional. Bill, Jere, Kelsey, Frankie, and Ralph, let's shine a spotlight on you back there so we can thank you for all that you have done. Making our business exciting, inspiring, and entertaining. Mark Twain once said, "Eat a live frog in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day." For all of you who've ever been nervous about speaking in public, a live frog may be your cure. I may not be as nervous as I once was, but I'm still as nervous once as I ever was. My nervousness is usually about what my theme should be. So, since all of you all have, I thought I'd tell a little of my Ambit story. And give you a sneak preview of what I think Ambit's chapters yet to be written will be. 12 years ago, at our very first ambition, my theme was a 200-year-old quote from a philosopher named Goethe. "Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness is genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now." And Goethe continued, "The moment one definitely commits, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would have come his way." Goethe was right. Looking back over the years, it's remarkable to tally all the unforeseen assistance that has come our way since that initial decision to commit. That same assistance can happen for each of you after you decide to commit and then begin. For me, when I decided to get into electricity, I had met Chris Chambliss, who would soon knit together the most successful sales channel in the entire history of the industry, you all. He would also mastermind our innovative products and open up the gates to Japan and inspire us all like he just did. And every one of you is here today because of Chris. Thank you, Chris. 13 years ago, I didn't know John Burke. I didn't know that John would agree to join our startup and that he would attract and retain the best IT team in the entire industry, or that he would build our software systems from scratch, or that he would rock our ambitions with his incredible guitar solos in the morning. Nice job this morning, John, and also the little Johnny with his American flag. Way back at the beginning, I didn't know Lori Rodriguez, who would build our sophisticated finance organization that can count every penny and every yen, and who would attend to so many critical details of our business, making certain that nothing ever falls through the cracks. Lori turned us down when we first asked her to join Ambit, but we all know how persistent Chris could be. And after 5 years, she finally said yes. Chris really does practice what he preaches. His persistence turned a no into a yes. So once again, Lori, thank you for being in the
That's very quick.
And of course, in 2006, I didn't know Daryl and Eric, those mild-mannered corporate guys with alter egos that can write, act, sing, and dance. We're just glad that they chose Ambit over Hollywood. So Daryl and Eric, thank you. Somehow, after that first decision was made, all sorts of unforeseen assistance appeared that would never otherwise have occurred, assistance we never dreamed of. When Chris and I committed to each other to build the finest and most respected retail energy provider in America, we set our trajectory. And those were bold words for a company with only a couple of customers. But we had faith, even before you were here, in what all of you could accomplish, and we wanted you to have faith in us. We knew that every time any of you approached someone about becoming an Ambit customer or consultant, you would be putting your reputation on the line. And you would be trusting that Ambit would deliver as promised, not some of the time, but all the time. And we wanted to be worthy of your trust. We wanted to make you proud of your association with Ambit. We began with a blank whiteboard in my brother David's office. And we mapped out our plans to invest our limited startup capital in building the finest systems and attracting the finest people we could find. We knew that to differentiate ourselves in a crowded marketplace, selling a commodity product, and then to succeed when the rapid growth came our way, we would have to become an outstanding data processing company. We searched for the right software vendors and found the systems we needed didn't exist. So with John's leadership, we committed the entire organization to join together and build our systems from scratch. And today we have the finest systems in the retail energy industry. We chose to test our new systems before entering the marketplace. We needed customers. When others said no, my parents and my wife Carolyn said yes. Putting their yeses into context, this was the dawn of deregulation. Most people were unaware that you could switch away from the incumbent, and we were a brand new startup that had never even provided electricity service to anyone before. Dad and Carolyn, please stand up so we can thank you for being Ambit's first customers and for all the support and encouragement that you provided from the beginning. You were very brave. We officially launched Ambit in August of 2006, and everything worked smoothly. Chris's weekly business presentations grew, and then one evening, while walking back to our car, Carolyn asked me, Jerry, how are we going to pay for the electricity that you had to buy in order to in advance for all of these people? I told her, I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. Our fast growth was eating up our cash, and in fact, I was beginning to worry, and then suddenly, Shell Energy appeared. Royal Dutch Shell is the second largest corporation in the free world. They generate almost $1 billion a day in revenue. And they have a huge energy trading business in Houston, and they were selling electricity to retailers like Ambit. When they came to visit us in Dallas in our near-empty warehouse space, they were astonished to see our homegrown back office systems and how well they worked. They were astonished to see that we were only 6 months old. They said our systems and processes were already more advanced than providers who had been around for the past 5 years. And they were astonished to see the number of our customers that our new consultants were gathering in the marketplace. Almost overnight, Shell agreed to hedge electricity to us on very favorable terms. That acceptance from someone we considered to be the smartest in the industry was the highest compliment that we ever could have received back then. It was a defining moment for Ambit. It validated the technology and direct sales channel paths that we had chosen. It accelerated our growth even faster and lifted our trajectory even higher. Yet only a couple of months earlier, we had no idea Shell even sold electricity. We were the lucky beneficiaries of unforeseen material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. To be the most respected company, we not only had to do the right things, we had to do things right. Vice versa. We had to do the right things. We also had to do the right things. That required, and still requires every day, the right people, the right standards, and the right culture. You have heard our message many, many, many times before to please never sacrifice integrity for growth. We believe that this high standard is what has always attracted good people like you to Ambit. People like to win, but they care more about how they win and who they are associated with. Good people attract good people. Look around you. Ambit is a community of good people, and we try to help each other reach our goals. We teach, we encourage, applaud, and lift each other up. We listen and care for each other. We show up. Lasting personal relationships and a few engagements are constantly being formed here at Ambit because we share so many common hopes and values. All that's required to be a member of this community is to participate, to give back, and to build your business the right way. It's how we protect each other. Which brings me to my never-ending request. Don't exaggerate. Please don't exaggerate. Exaggeration is like quicksand, and whenever you slip into it, it's almost impossible to get out of it. Your team will hear what you say, and they will do what you do. If they hear you exaggerate, and then they believe the path to success is built on exaggeration, that is what many will imitate. But the good people won't stay, and they will be the first to leave your teams. You cannot build a long-term sustainable business with a foundation built on quicksand. Build your foundation on rock. Build it on the truth. And teach your team to build their businesses the right way too. We want everyone in Ambit to take a great deal of pride in their hard-earned success, especially since there is so much to look forward to. So let's talk about our future chapters and why I believe the best is yet to come. First, our primary product is electricity. All across the world, as societies grow and prosper, the demand for energy increases. Energy fuels economies, homes, schools, businesses, vehicles, and industry. Energy is the vital hidden ingredient in almost every product and service we consume in our everyday lives. Today's society faces two competing challenges: how to provide more energy to a rapidly growing world population, and how to simultaneously minimize pollutants from the energy we consume. It's a complicated trade-off, and success in the decades to come requires a transformation in how energy is produced and consumed. It's all about matching the least polluting fuel source required for each particular activity. And solutions will vary. They'll vary by industry. Some industries, like clothing and food manufacturing, require low temperature processes and mechanical activities. Electricity is perfectly suited for both. Other industries, like iron, steel, cement, plastic, and chemicals, require energy at extremely high temperatures. Most of these processes cannot be electrified at all and will continue to depend on coal and heavy oils. Solutions will also vary by geography. Different countries have different needs and different stages of economic progress, different development priorities, and different domestic energy resources. Every country faces a different set of trade-offs between cheaper fuel and cleaner air. And as a result, the transformation of our worldwide energy system over the decades to come will move at different paces and will produce different outcomes. Demand for oil is expected to peak in 2025. Demand for natural gas is expected to peak around 2035. But the demand for electricity is expected to grow throughout the remainder of this century. Electricity will be the energy of choice whenever possible. Why? Because it's cleaner. In the past year, China has increased imports of liquefied natural gas by 19%. President Jinping is swapping coal for cleaner burning natural gas in homes and factories in his effort to clear urban skies. That's why over time, natural gas generation will replace coal generation whenever possible. And wind and solar, that will replace natural gas plants whenever possible. Royal Dutch Shell, and just last week, ExxonMobil, have announced that they're trying to buy large wind and solar generation facilities in Europe and here in Texas. This worldwide transformation is already underway. And the greatest transformation of all is the transition that's happening in cars, away from internal combustion engines and gasoline to electric vehicles. Forecasts now predict that 100% of new cars sold will be electric in China and Western Europe by 2030, and in the United States by 2035. Many are now forecasting that by 2050, All new cars sold worldwide will be electric vehicles. That's another reason why electricity is the future. This transformation is real, and the international giants are adapting. For the past 100 years, Royal Dutch Shell has had just 3 business pillars: oil, gas, and chemicals. But this past year, for the very first time ever, Shell added a 4th pillar: electricity. They said that they're transitioning from the age of oil to the age of power. And that is an incredibly bold statement for the largest oil company in the free world. It's okay to smile.
Yeah, man. He's got to have some Royal Dutch Shell people here.
That'd make him beam.
You're selling a product that will only grow in demand during your lifetime. How many products can make that claim? You're in the right place at the right time with the right company selling the right product. Here in the United States, I'm fairly certain that a handful of new states will deregulate in the next few years. That's great for you, and it's great for Ambit. Most states that are regulated today will continue to resist breaking up their monopoly utilities. Those powerful incumbent monopolies want to preserve the status quo and will ferociously fight deregulation efforts. But 3 states are now reconsidering the benefits of competition: Nevada, California, and Arizona. They see the remarkable capital investment that has been made in deregulated markets, in cleaner and more efficient generation plants, in wind and solar farms, in modern transmission grids, and smart meters, and creative new products. Those products that give consumers new choice and lower prices. Nevada voters will be voting a required 2nd time this November to amend their state constitution to require deregulation. 2 years ago, over 70% of voters voted in favor of deregulation. If the coming November vote passes again as expected, deregulation in Nevada will become law and competition will begin in 2 to 3 years. So if you know anybody in Nevada, please reach out to them and make certain they sign those papers. So, unless California surprises everyone and leaps ahead, Nevada will be the next state to deregulate. And you are with the right company to take advantage of these times. We have introduced products that others couldn't match or took years to imitate. Products that are feasible only because of our software expertise. That expertise is an Ambit crown jewel, the result of our having invested consistently in our IT people and systems from the very beginning. We have never let good enough be good enough, and we never will. You will continue to see new products roll out that will help you and your teams gather even more customers in the future. And when it comes to expansion, no other energy retailer has ever matched our rate of growth and our market expansion. And since we are more than just a little bit competitive at 1801 North Lamar, we don't plan on ever losing that #1 position. Finally, the most important differentiator between one company and the next is the quality of their people. No other energy retailer has a channel filled with as many good people as you. And that's a huge competitive advantage for Ambit and for each of you. This business can be really hard. We've talked about it for the last few days. As you heard earlier this afternoon, we're living in a world of no's. And no matter how strong your why is, you need people to believe in you, who boost your confidence, who encourage you and smile with you, who lift you up when you feel beaten down. These are the people you find at Ambit. It's your Ambit community. Use it, take advantage of it, and give back to it. That's what makes Ambit, Ambit. We know the road to success is never smooth, it's never straight, never easy, and never quick. It's always bumpy, winding up and down, and takes a little longer. We have weathered many storms together, over the past few years and have fought many regulatory and other battles in their aftermath. Challenges are a law of nature on every path to success, and so is persistence. You have never given up, and neither have we. And that is why the chapters yet to come in our Ambit story will be the best ever. Thanks again to all of you for all you do to help each other every day. We enjoy your friendship, appreciate your trust, and wish you the very, very best of success as we enter the age of power. God bless everybody. Thank you.